I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and who lead as examples to the flock. Salutation to the men leading the charge, teaching this word in 100% truth and sincerity, and of course, to the rest of the believers, who make up the large multitude, the men, women, and children whom the Lord has foreordained to come repenting, to their true nationality, back to our God, through the mercies that are found, through Yahweh sacrifice. This lesson, is gonna be me adding, my 2 cents into this spiritual 2 cents, into this newest revelation that has captivated, for lack of a better term, the Hebrew Israelite community, which is the incident of adultery, that has taken place, in the IUIC. And this is not the first instance, nor will it be the last, because, as the elder, beloved elder Yasha Wamba is bringing out here in this video that you see here on screen, these environments are breeding grounds for adultery, and this is, I specifically wanted to land back, off, the elder's video, and continue along that train of thought, in me coming into this truth, I came up with the Ella Shapar, the head of the camps here in Jamaica. We learned together, we came up together, and there was always something, that he would always drill, in our heads, and it's later on in the truth, maybe about 6, 7, 8 years in the truth, I fully appreciated and understood it, and that thing that he was always drilling in our head was, you have to be able to think ahead. When you make a particular decision, you have to be able to weigh the consequences of your actions, and not just the immediate consequences of your actions. What are the protracted results of the path that you are now choosing to go on? If you're not thinking along that way, right, then you're gonna find yourself in a trap, right? So what the beloved elder was bringing out in this video is that if you have an environment where men and women are frolicking together, right, it is ultimately going to lead to one woman or a man lusting after each other, and they may or may not be married, right? So ultimately it's going to lead to, inevitably, a woman that is married, right, lusting after a man, right, and that man lusting after that woman that is married, and then ultimately committing the act of adultery. That is inevitable. If you have men and women together in a situation where the elder brought out in this video, dancing, frolicking, drinking, this is inevitable. This is why the apostles, told us from the get-go, even from the before we came into the truth, when they had the school in Connecticut, no more women in the school. Why? Because they had this problem as well. Adultery. It was a breeding ground for adultery. So if you make the decision to have a mixed congregation, right, and you have dance parties, men and women frolicking together, married men, married women dancing together, what do you expect to come from that? What do you expect to be the fruit of that except confusion and adultery? That is what's going to happen. It is inevitable, right? So you weren't being prudent, right? Let's get that. So this is Proverbs 22 verse 3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Let's read that in the NLT as well, right? It says, a prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions. The simpleton goes on blindly and suffers the consequences. If you look up that word prudent, let's look it up here. The word is arawam, which means subtle, shrewd, crafty, sly, sensible, right? And if you look up prudent in a dictionary, let's look up that. It says wise, cautious, acting with or showing care and thought for the future, right? Foresee, the origin goes into late Middle English from Old French or from Latin prudent, right? Contraction of provident, foreseeing, attending to. A prophet's job is to foresee. You know, using the scriptures, because the scriptures warn you of certain situations that you should avoid. Sitting with another man's woman, being in the company of another man's woman is one thing that the scriptures tell you to avoid, right? Because it tells you what's going to happen if you don't, right? So you are supposed to be able to use the scripture as a guideline to predict what would happen if you go along a particular path. And that path in this case is choosing to have a mixed congregation, men and women frolicking and dancing together. Right? What is the evil that is going to come as a result of that? Adultery. Right? And then God forbid it's going to reach to the point where a man, might just end up in a fight with another, right? Because of a woman, because it says, jealousy is the rage of a man. Let's get that, right? Jealousy is rage, right? This is Proverbs 6 and verse 34. Let's start from verse 32. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. Because he didn't read the scriptures. He didn't understand the consequences, the protracted consequences of him doing that, both on a physical level and a spiritual level. Right? He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul, a wound and a dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of a man. Therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance, he will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts. So the next thing you're gonna hear happening in the IUIC or any of those camps that have mixed congregation, right, is one brother rising up against another brother because of adultery. Right? So that's going to lead to murder or attempted murder, right? Or bodily harm or whatever it is, right? We've warned these men time and time again. Be prudent. Avoid these situations that will lead ultimately to you, committing adultery. I did a lesson a few days back, and the a quote, that says, it is better to avoid temptation, far easier to avoid temptation than it is to resist it. So instead of you having a mixed congregation, you're going to say to your congregation, you know what, a man should not have sex with another man's wife. And you say, all right, I'm going to resist the sister sitting next to me because I know she has a husband. I'm going to resist that, right? You have a dancing session, she's dancing upon you. Both of you are nice because you've been drinking, so you're feeling nice. Right? She starts to rub on you, but you're starting to tell yourself, you know what? I'm resisting because she has, a husband. And then it happens more and more often to the point where your resistance wears down. Just like the scripture says, you sit with her, right? You be taken by her, and then what? You commit adultery, right? Ecclesiasticus 32 verse 20, go not in a way wherein thou mayest fall, and stumble not among the stones. Have some foresight. You choose a way to walk down, analyze and examine if this is a way that I may fall in. Is this a path that leads to temptation, right? If it does, let me avoid it. As long as it is possible, let me avoid it, right? Go not in a way where thou mayest fall, and stumble not among the stones. Having a mixed multitude congregation, a mixed gender congregation, is a way wherein thou mayest fall. It is inevitable, right? We'll wrap here, right? Proverbs 4 and verse 14, enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not into the way of evil man. Avoid it. Pass not by it. Turn from it. Pass away. Let's read that in the NLT, right? Verse 4, verse 14 in NLT. Don't do as the wicked do, and don't follow the path of evildoers. Don't even think about it. Don't even go that way. Turn away and keep moving. Don't go and say, oh, I'm going to resist because I know what they're doing is wrong. So I can be among them, but I'm going to resist because I know better. Yeah, you know better, but what? Evil company corrupt good manners. You avoid it. You avoid it because you know that it is a way where you may fall. So you avoid it. Right? So hopefully this was edifying. Shalom.